Hey, welcome back. I'm David, and this is 86 IROC that I've been working on for like 3 months. It's a long time now. We're getting closer, but as you saw in the last video, if you watched it, all the wheels rubbed. I knew when I put the 4th gen rear in it that it was 4 inches wider, which is 2 inches on either side, and that's almost exactly how far this thing's poking out. So I just went ahead and ordered more wheels. I ordered them, I think, in the last video when I released it. So hopefully they'll be in the next few days. Hadn't been feeling great, so I'm going to kind of just take it easy, not get too excited about this. We'll see how it goes, but I'm going to try to get the hatch pull down done and get some of the interior in it. There's a lot of little things on the inside that need to be taken care of yet, so we'll do that. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, I just want to say thanks for watching. Thanks to the new subscribers. I think there's like 4 new subscribers this week, which is amazing. I still am amazed that anybody watches this junk, but I do appreciate it. So we've got like 4 weeks till Power Tour. Crunch is on. Let's get to work.
Hey, don't forget, we're doing a giveaway. If you want these decals, just drop a comment down below, say sticker. Next Wednesday, I'll be doing the drawing. I'll give you a random number generator thing and whatever. It'll be easy. So far, there's one guy. He's going to get it. So anyways, if you do want a decal, these are a stencil. So you can just paint IROC Z on anything.
So the pull down in my trunk doesn't work. I'm still not feeling great, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to try to get something done today. I ordered the parts I actually ordered, I think, a new motor and gear. I don't remember. But anyways, and guides. I did get the guides. And I actually had bought another one. Look, you can see the guide. Part of the guides, when I wiggled it, fell out. Anyways, so this thing doesn't move like it's supposed to at all, and it's not hooked up right. And this right here is for the keyed only version, which my car came with the trunk popper. So I was actually at the junkyard and I bought another one. Bought this one. I thought, well, if nothing else, I got the popper on it, so I think that'll be good. And this one had the wiring harness that wasn't cut. Mine was already cut. Turns out they're both cut. But anyways, it's a whole nother story. But I did not notice this one is welded shut. Now I could cut all this loose. It's only in 3 little tacks and rebuild that one. But I'm actually going to just use this one for parts. Use the body of my old one and the parts that I got and just rebuild it. And we'll try to do it right here on this area because I still have a mess down here that I've not cleaned up, and I don't want to put any more time into it. I feel like I just need to get something done today, so just a mental thing. So anyways, I'm going to put you on a tripod, and we'll see how this goes. Actually, I'm going to test to make sure this popper works before we do anything, because if it doesn't, I'm going to have to find one. Alright, so I got all that cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and try to put this back on. These little nylon or plastic slides, I am guessing how they go, but it would make sense that they would go to where the back part of it is like that, covers the back. We're going to try it and see what happens. They just kind of snap in place. Nothing but friction to hold them there, but assuming that's enough, we're just kind of testing this just to see. That one came out. Yeah, we'll put a little grease on these things too. That's gonna slide for jack squat. Come on off of there. Yeah, that didn't do very well. So I think once they're greased, they'll be fine though. Now, all right, here. We'll move these out of the way for now. We'll go ahead and finish this part up, which looks to be. So I think this is the part that actually tells the motor what to do. I'm guessing. Plugs in back here with a Phillips screw in it. I'll have to get a Phillips screwdriver. I don't have one in my hand. Hang on. Went and found the smallest one I had, because heaven forbid I found this one. Let's see here. Yep, that whole deal just unplugs. It's got a couple little plug-in things right here. We should be able to plug that into the new one. I'm just going to go ahead and do that so I don't lose that screw. No, I have to put the plate on it first. I see. I told you I didn't know what I was doing. Alright, so there's a couple of T27s I'm going to guess right there. Let's see if I can get them out. Now, does that just separate? I'm going to apply a little force. Yeah, it comes right out. Okay, so that's the lower gear section. This thing should have worked. The gears were actually in great shape. Interesting. Oh well, we have this other one. We're going to put it in. I don't know why it wasn't working. That motor may have been bad. I'm going to keep that though. So this dude should just pull right off, I guess. Oh, it unscrews. Makes sense. Boom. Alright, so we take the new one out, get it started and screw it on. Is that all it goes? No, that thing should go all the way in. There we go. It's hung on something in there. Alright, that guy pops right back in. That looks really good. Oh, I should have put this shim on that. Let me unscrew it and put it back together again. Couldn't tell you what these shims are called. They have a little bend to them, but we'll put this one back. Right now, this little pinned area has a slide place it goes into in the motor right there. Slide it right back in. I don't know about y'all, I love turning the ratchet the other direction on a project. Doesn't need a lot of torque just to hold it down. You don't want to break it. Plenty. Now, put this guy back in. It just plugs right onto this motor. Oh, I see. There's a switch on the side that lets it know if it's up or down. Interesting. So this little piece right here has a little groove it slides into. Just gonna push it in there and slide it down in that groove. And that helps line it all up. It's maybe easier said than done. Alright, put that fella down on there. Feels nice. Just put the screw back in it so it don't move. Alright, now see here. So this bushing is in great shape. I don't know how on earth you're supposed to get this other bushing in there if it's not, because it don't fit. But since this is good, we're just gonna roll with it. I'm gonna get a little bit of grease to put on those slides. I'll be right back. All right, so let's see. Just gonna put a little grease right down in every one of these little channels. You don't want so much that it causes a mess, but you want enough to where it's in there and it works right. sure GM used some sort of special grease for this. I'm using wheel bearing greases because that's what I got. Feel okay about it. I'll wipe my finger off and put the lid back on it so I don't drop everything I own inside this grease container. That's what I do. Well, it better be one tough motor because it's tight in there. But we'll see. Next, we'll bolt this back up. Oops. All right. Let's see. There we go. Dab of grease on that guy too. See, it does travel. Oh, come on now. All right then. It needs to go down a little more. Yeah, let's try that. There we go. I just put it down there and pushed hard and it snapped on. Now I'm just put that retainer I popped off earlier right back on it. Alright. Where it goes to. Alright, next thing to do is I took the wiring harness off the other one. We're going to try it. I hope it all works because this one's just not cut up as bad as mine was. One less thing I have to repair. I don't know what he's supposed to get to. But there we go. All right, I'm going to plug this back, or bolt this back on, we'll see what it does. All right, so let's try to shut this thing, see what happens. Pulled it right down. This hatch is way out of alignment, but that's pretty common for these Camaros. That's not today's project. That may not be before Power Tour project even. It'll survive just like that. Let's see if we can pop it now. Still a little tight, needs some adjusting, but that's good enough. And there you have it. One more time. Boom. I call that a success. I brought the interior plastics with me to work today. I feel a little better, so I thought I'd see if I could get some stuff dyed. See all those scratches and stuff? It's not in great shape, but I'm going to dye it the same color as I dyed the carpet and just put it back in. That'll improve it. It won't be perfect, but it'll be better. I'll show you all what it kind of looks like when it's done. There's not much to this. So I'm using Decal vinyl fabric, medium gray. If you're curious how well it matches, you can't tell in this video probably, but this is definitely lighter than the gray that it originally was. But these panels, I'm not even sure if you can tell in the video, but they're so faded, anything looks better than what they are. And actually after the dye, they look pretty nice. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot this largest piece and just keep on going. So I was going to start putting some of the interior back in this car, just kind of to get it out of the way and it'll be done. And it'll feel a lot nicer inside the car. And so I bought a Blaupunk amp kit. I'm not putting an amp in this thing right now. I'm not building a box for it, none of that. But it's going to happen later. So now while nothing's in it, I'm just going to go ahead and run all this wire, and then I'll start putting all this interior back in this car. Get this thing wrapped up. Nothing says high performance. A V6 Mustang with a 5-inch cowl hood. Yep. So I went ahead and got the larger pieces of plastic in, and I got the original carpet back in the back. I did not dye this. This was actually in fairly good shape. It's got a stain or two, but I really care about it. I took the driver's side tail light out. I'm fixing to take the passenger side tail light out, and I'm just going to clean up behind the tail lights real good. I'm going to hit this with a polisher. I'm going to see if I can clean some of this up, maybe get some of this overspray, or it's really black primer, off this car as we go, and buff the areas that we do. But I wanted to do around the tail lights so I didn't have to do them later. I might even actually hit the tail lights with a buff or two just to clean them up some. But anyways, I'm just going to get back to it. So I started using some of this goof off overspray remover. The stuff works great. I mean, you can see the stripe back in the car. It's a lot quicker than sanding it down. I was trying that for a little bit. So I'm going to just keep at it. And see, that's what it did look like. This is actually sprayed down right now and soaking. But you got to let it soak a little bit. It doesn't smell terrible, though. So anyways, I'm going to do this, wipe as much of the overspray off as we can, and then we'll hit it with a buffer and just clean it up. It'll be a lot better than it was. I mean, that looks like poop. That is shinier than it really would be, but after it's buffed, it'll look pretty good, I think. Heck, the whole car ain't gonna look like that, but every inch of it that does is better than nothing. So you can see all the scratches and stuff in this now that it's washed and dried off a little. I'm gonna hit it with a buffer. I've got this little mini buffer. It's an AC Decal. I got it on Amazon. Actually works pretty good though. I was gonna buff around where the tail lights and stuff go, and just most of the bumper. I think I'm just cleaned it up. But it looks that way because that's just where they sanded it down when they sprayed the spray paint on it. So, or the primer. It might be real primer. It was really thick on the top of this bumper. Thinner in other spots, but the top, whew, boy, it was thick. Anyways, I'm gonna get after it, and I'll show what it looks like once I get it going. So that's with a polish and a compound, and this is with just been wiped off. So I'm gonna go ahead and polish and compound the rest of this bumper. Then I'll wax it, and I'll show you what that looks like. I mean, compared to the rest of the car, this looks amazing. And I know that all this car is not going to look like this, but better than just a flat black car in my opinion. So anyways, I'm back to it. Polish those tail lights. I got the license plate lights are working. All of that stuff's working. The back of this car is really coming together. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. This car has the most 2005 pinstripe I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, goes down the entire length of the car, and then in the front it's actually doubled up, and there's a strip at the bottom. But I bought an eraser wheel. I've never tried it on a decal this old, but I'm going to give it a shot and see how it works. I'm going to try to do this with one hand just so I can show y'all. Might take a little time, but it is going to come off. And you saw what I was doing to the back bumper, so I'm going to do that to the rest of the car too, so I ain't worried about it leaving streaks and stuff. So, well, thanks to Amazon Prime Day, I picked up some speakers for the front and the back and a head unit. So I'm going to put these in and just keep working my way forward. I'm just trying to work my way forward in the car on the inside as I go, and just fix it as I go through it. So anyways, I'm going to open these and put them in. If you're wondering how I chose speakers, I chose the ones that would fit, that had the most wattage, that were under $30 a pair. These are Servo Vegas for the front. You know, we'll keep our Vegas pumping, as Vanilla Ice once said. But anyways, we'll throw these in the dash right quick. I'm going to take the whole bracket out, put these in, and then put the bracket back in. That's the easiest way. And we'll get on with it. Alright, so I got the Servo Vegas in. This one went in really well. This one may or may not clear the dash. We'll see. I'm going to put the pad in probably next. I also went ahead and ordered a front-facing camera for this car. It actually has built-in DVR and stuff to hook up to the radio. Got all that wired in, down, boom. So I think I'm gonna slide the dash pad on and see if it fits. The other thing I noticed was I was going to install the mirror, but the mirror doesn't fit the base on the windshield. They're different, so I am junkyard bound. It's lunchtime. I may actually just go to the junkyard, grab lunch on the way, eat in the car, save myself some time, and get a mirror. Might even get a mirror with some lights in it so I can wire it up so we have some extra light in here. These cars are not known for the vast amount of light when you open the door. So anyways, that's where we're at, and I'm gonna keep on moving. I think I will put the dash pad in just to see if it works. Also, I'll finally put this vent back in. That thing's been all over the garage. It's been everywhere. I finally put it in, so it's permanent again. Well, the dash is back in. It does have these cracks over here. We're just gonna have to live with them. Finding a good dash for these things is tough anyways, and in the time period we've got and the money we've got, it ain't happening. So I did clean this really, really well. It's drying off still, but it was disgusting. I couldn't believe how much garbage came off of it. You could probably clean it again and still get stuff off of it. I cleaned it twice. That's all I had time and patience for. So anyways, also I'd taken this gauge cluster out when I was trying to get those speakers in, and clearly it wasn't necessary, but I thought I was going to have to cut a hole to make that clearance, but it clearanced that speaker clearance. So anyways, I went ahead and put all that back together too. Anyways, I think I'm going to go have lunch. I may even go pick up a rear view mirror for this thing so I can go ahead and get that in and done. We're getting really close to putting the carpet in. I like to wait as long as I can before I put the carpet in, because when you put the carpet in, everything that happens after that you have to clean. So I like to get in and out and do all the stuff I can without the carpet in the car, so I don't have to vacuum and clean it up so much. So I went out to pulled this mirror. It's got lights on the bottom, no fading or delamination of the mirror around the edges. It actually is in really good shape. It's off a 2004, get this, Pontiac Aztec. I wanted something that had lights on the bottom but didn't have OnStar or automatic dimming. I didn't want to deal with any of that, and I thought this looked really nice, so we'll see if I can clean this up, get the lights figured out and wired in and on the car. So if you ever have one of these you want to wire up, orange is the constant power, black is the constant ground, and the brown with a black tracer. Focus. Anyways, that is the trigger wire for the dome light. I'm going to clean this up and see if I can get it all installed, and I'll show you when it's in. Alright, so I got it up. I got everything wired in and soldered together. I went ahead and put some LED bulbs in this. I also put a LED bulb in the dome light for now. So I have the original headliner for this car. It's in really poor condition. Somebody's tried to recover it terribly. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with it. I'd really like to have a headliner in the car. Just, makes it feel so much nicer. But I don't know if I could. I thought about trying to put some fiberglass resin on it, stiffen it up and recovering it. I don't know. We'll see. That's definitely not a this week video. So yeah, I think I'm about done for the day. It's getting that time, so I think I'm gonna clean up, and we'll just keep chugging along this week. So just in case you're curious how bright the dome light's gonna be, of course I still have LEDs to put in the kick panels too in that area, but I believe this will do just fine. I'm really glad I added those extra lights. So I decided to pull the driver's seat out. I had to pull it out anyways, but I have a set of 2006 or 7-ish GTO seats. I'm going to try to put them in. These seats aren't terrible. They're ripped up a little bit, but I already took the tracks off of it, but they're just rusted out. This is, in my opinion, just not safe. And I really like the other seats better if I can make them work. So, look at the rust on the ground there. So we'll see if we can get these tracks on there. I don't know. We may still end up having to use this seat, but we'll try. So I just kind of loosely bolted those in. Really, I don't think they're too far off from working on either side. We'll have to probably cut these off, drill a couple of holes, but that's totally doable if the width is right. I'm going to throw a measuring tape on it, see what the width is, but yeah, I think it's pretty close. It fits in there really well. I said in it, it's a little high in the front, not terrible. But I got a welder, and those seat tracks are trash anyway, so we may just drop the front an inch or so. In the back too, I guess. Let's see how it sits in there. See, it's not terribly tall. I mean, the headrest's up. I'm gonna put the headrest down. I just want to see how much different it looks because it's up and it kind of looks goofy. I'm gonna be honest. Some of the better looking seats I've ever seen in a third gen. Even racing seats. I've never been a big fan of how they look in these cars, but plenty of room. I think with a little bit of effort, we can make these things work out really well. Also, this winter I'll have heated seats. Always a bonus. Well, there you have it. We got like 28 days till Power Tour. I still have a lot to do. I started this week off sick, and I just couldn't do it. You know, I could piddle around a little bit, but nothing strenuous. I just cough so much. So, anyways, I'm happy we've got the trunk pull down kind of working, and at least it's left to latch it. Eventually, that hatch needs to be adjusted. That's not going to happen before Power Tour. It's just not necessary. So I'm super happy with how the bumper and taillights turned out. Who knew? I had no clue that would turn out that nice. If we can get the rest of the car to look half that good, this thing will not be a total embarrassment. Also, those GTO seats, they're so much more comfortable. I'm gonna be driving this thing, you know, almost 6,000 miles in the span of like 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks. So, you know, comfortable seats really come in handy. So anyways, I'm gonna keep on working on this car all week again. I may take a few days off work and come in and just keep working. We just need to wrap it up. We're getting there though. The interior is almost done. So once all that's kind of wrapped up, we're still waiting on the wheels. I can't do anything till the wheels get here, so might as well wrap up the interior, get that done. The next thing I'm probably going to tackle after that's finished is I did finally get in all of my air conditioning components. I ordered an aftermarket set. I can't remember the company's name. I'll tell you next week. But I'm switching it over from the earlier Camaro brackets and water pump and such, which had a serpentine belt and a V-drive belt that ran the air conditioning, and a V-drive belt I think that actually ran the smog pump, which this car doesn't have anymore. So I'm going to abandon all that and go to a single serpentine setup just for ease. It just looks better, it works better. And it also moves the alternator from the driver's side to the passenger's, or from the passenger side to the driver's side and such. So anyways, we'll start on that next week. Hopefully we can have all this wrapped up by this coming weekend and basically most of the stuff done. My brother's still up for changing the wheels and tires and all that and stuff, but I got to get the wheels first. So anyways, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. If you've made it this far, I'm really amazed. Also, tomorrow I'll drop a video on who won that sticker. So far, there's one guy. He's going to win. That's just the way that works. If you decide you want that decal, just let me know. Anyways, thanks again. See ya.